Well, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been sharing his plans about Gaza. Hoda Abdel-Hamid is joining us now from Amman. She's in the Jordanian capital because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting in Israel and the occupied West Bank. So we've heard from Netanyahu speaking to American media. What has he had to say?
Well, he gave some details about what his thinking is when it comes to the next stage of this war in Gaza. What he said is that Israel wants to rid the Strip from Hamas, even though the military says that there hasn't been any direct confrontation between the two sides since June. He also said that Israel is not interested in governing the Gaza Strip, is not interested in having any kind of authority there, but it will hand it over to Arab forces that are friendly to Israel and wouldn't pose a security threat to Israel. He did also add that Israel was looking for a security perimeter. Now, we don't know how wide is this security perimeter. What I can tell you is this is the fifth war in Gaza, and each time there has, of the previous fourth war, the buffer zone between the fence that separates southern Israel from Gaza became wider and wider. Now people are squeezed in less than 20% of the territory, 2 million people. What will happen to them? He did not elaborate on that. And he didn't mention the hostages and the fate of the hostages. And the families of the hostages are putting a lot of pressure. This morning they organized a symbolic flotilla that departed from the port of Ashkelon and went off the coast of Gaza. From there, they also called for Israelis to carry out protest this evening while the Security Cabinet is meeting once again. So there's a lot of pressure on the Prime Minister coming from the families for the fate of these captives. They think that any kind of ground incursion will probably seal the fate of their loved ones still held in Gaza. But this is all based on an interview, what the Prime Minister said, what his plans should be about. He is meeting with the Security Cabinet, and once that meeting is over, we might have a bit more of an understanding, especially that Israeli media has been referring to an all-out ground invasion for the past, or ground occupation rather, for the past 72 hours, which is quite a bit different from what the Prime Minister said.
Okay, Hoda, thank you so much for that reporting from Amman. Gideon Levy is a columnist for the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, joining us from Tel Aviv this hour. So if we can start out with what Netanyahu has said, and that is we don't want to keep Gaza, we want a security perimeter, and we want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern Gaza properly. What do you read into this?
I really don't know with what to start. I mean, what Arab force will get into Gaza exactly? The Prime Minister rejected the option that the Palestinian Authority will take over Gaza. So what Arab force? You want to change one occupation with another occupation? And why would a Saudi army or a Jordanian army get into Gaza and find itself in the mud of Gaza? And why would the Palestinian accept it? I mean, by the end of the day, Gaza deserves a Palestinian government and not another occupation getting in. But above all, it is not serious because the plan is, to my view, much more outrageous than he tries to cover up. By the end of the day, the idea is to push the population out of Gaza, and all those operations and offensives are aimed at this, to push them to make Gaza an unlivable place and to tell the people you have only one choice, leave the Gaza Strip. And all the rest is camouflage and all kind of cover-ups.
What do you expect to come out of the Security Cabinet meeting?
Oh, it's a bunch of no-ones, and nobody will stand against the government, against the Prime Minister. The only question is how will the army and the chief of army, the chief of staff will react. And I'm not sure he's strong enough to stand against the Prime Minister. He will have to accept the plan.
Okay, we will leave it there. Gideon Levy, thank you for joining us from Tel Aviv.
Don't miss out and get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.